Yo, what's up? This is not my normal type of video. If you're new here, this isn't the kind of content I usually create. In fact, I was setting up to record a different video, completely, entirely different. And in the middle of setting up for that video, I became aware of something that was being shared on Twitter that made me just stop and say, I want to talk about this right now. If you don't know me, my name is Franco, and on this channel, I create content that's supposed to help gamers with health related subjects like stretching, exercising, chair reviews, and most notably, gaming energy drink reviews. A long time ago, I made a video about gaming energy drink powders where I compared a bunch of different brands and kind of tried to teach people about what was in these different drinks, right? Uh, GamerSupps was one of those drinks that I talked about, and I didn't have very positive things to say about it. So when I saw this thread on Twitter being shared from a streamer named IceRocker, I read it and I said, this is crazy. I have to. This is kind of making me feel like I want to share my story with GamerSupps because people should know about this. I kind of thought that I was an isolated incident because of like my unique position where I make these videos about a subject that's not really covered very much, except for by people who are sponsored by different brands and they're trying to promote that brand, whatever. So I felt empowered to talk about it because this streamer was sharing her story. And so I want to go over her story and then tell you my story and my experiences with GamerSupps since making that video and kind of talk about how these two things within the context of each other make me feel about their brand. But I want to make sure that it's known that this is all speculation. These are internet stories. These are people on the internet sharing their experiences. These are not facts. These aren't facts. These aren't. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to put meaning into anyone's mouth or words into anyone's mouth. I'm just sharing my experience and talking about it because I feel uniquely positioned to do that. Um, but I want you to make your own judgment. I want you to come to your own conclusions. And like I said, this is a very spur of the moment thing. This video is going to be scuffed, not a lot of editing. I'm going to try and make it brief, but there's a lot to kind of cover, and I want you to get the full story. So I guess let's begin. Um, so we start with IceRocker. She's a Twitch streamer, and she had an experience with GamerSupps where she was essentially trying to create a product, a shaker cup, using one of her slogans. Or I'm not really familiar with IceRocker until this story, but it seems to be that they were collaborating on a design for a shaker cup, and that she was potentially partnered with them when she was starting out her career with content creation. And so this takes place in 2019. She did a collab with GamerSupps, and it was a disaster from the very start, apparently. So her initial contact was easy. They were interested. They shared communications. I'm not going to read this word for word. You can. I'll leave links to her tweet in the description below. I'll leave links to different screenshots and things like that. I'm just going to kind of briefly summarize what she's talking about, but you can pause and read it if you'd like. Um, she just had some rocky communication with GamerSupps while they were trying to iron out the details of this product that they were going forward with, and they didn't have any sort of agreement, contract, payment set up, or anything. And so she was young in her career. She wasn't used to dealing with companies like this and hadn't done this before. And apparently, they just launched it without her knowing. Now, this is just her side of things. I don't know her. I can't vouch for her truthfulness, but I don't know GamerSup's side of things either. I'm just going off of what she's saying here, and the reason why I believe her is because I have experience of my own that put this into context where I'm like, okay, this definitely makes sense. Um, so she was midstream when she found out that her shaker cups had gone live for their Black Friday sale. No announcement, no message. Quickly made her own promo photos because she wanted to give it the attention that it deserved. And she also noticed that they didn't even have the right store link that they had agreed upon. Mind you, she still had no contract set up, even a way to be paid by them. So she started looking for other GamerSupps sponsorees or people who have dealt with GamerSupps and found out that this was a common thing with them and that they had not paid them and that they had been trying to pay them in product. And eventually she was directed to Eric, their owner, or GamerSupps owner, who I have also had contact with that I'm going to share in a little bit. There's some conversations on Discord about this and her kind of telling them her issues with it. and that, oh, it's going to be taken care of. We're going to forward you to Eric. So she started talking to Eric, and things did not go very well. In her words, he tried to gaslight me, Google search my brand in front of me, which was humiliating, and tell me that I wouldn't be able to get copyright for my design. And during the release of the shaker, as well as many orders, weren't getting shipped out. So they weren't even fulfilling orders, and it was just a mess. But that kind of behavior from the CEO of a company to a small creator at the time. I mean, to give you context, this is her Twitter account, 6,000 followers. If you go to Twitch, she has about 5 or 6,000 followers on Twitch as well. Um, but how big or small you are should play no part in the respect that you get from a company that you're working with. There should be a mutual understanding, a mutual exchange of respect. And that kind of behavior, if true, is just vile, trying to make someone feel like it's their fault and trying to, um, you know, make them feel small by looking up their brand and trying to claim that, they don't really have anything to stand on to fight this particular issue, if true, is terrible. Right. So this is the conversation that he had or that she had with Eric. And I was getting constantly asked by folks where their shakers were. Um, and then he apparently blames her because her community were doing chargebacks, and that's why they couldn't push out the product. She had enough. She basically said, "I'm done with GamerSupps. I'm done with this partnership. Once this product sells out, well, then that'll conclude our dealings with each other." And so she followed up with him to make sure, "Hey, we're done. Don't make any more of these cups with my name on it. I don't want to work with you." To which he pretty much responds, according to this DM, "Yeah, so I haven't yet, but was considering reordering. Would you still like to make a formal deal?" So, hey, we sold a bunch of cups. Now I want to work with you, right? So fast forward, they essentially tried to take some sort of imagery that was already being used and essentially steal her. I say steal. I'm not trying to downplay what she's saying, but I'm just trying to be really careful not to accuse anybody of anything because I'm not in that situation and I don't know and I don't want to get in trouble for it. But she is claiming that they basically pulled from a brand from a former partner and they're trying to make the cup. And his reasoning, according to her, is hey, I like the design. I bought some of your products and also tried to throw another employee under the bus before the shakers were ordered. So, in conclusion, she's saying, stop supporting this predatory company. Stop letting these companies use you and your reach for your brand for your own selfish gain. Now, I know that it might be tempting for a small creator who might be watching this to say, I would work with any brand. That's exposure. That just helps me build my brand. And while that's true, you also should never allow yourself to be taken advantage of. If someone's making money off of your name, you are helping sell that product, you should receive some sort of compensation. And compensation comes in a lot of different ways, but that should be ironed out before you start selling something. If you agree to this person, hey, I don't want to cut, I'm just happy to get this out into the world. Thank you for this opportunity, then cool. But they didn't even have that conversation, according to her. They didn't talk about how am I going to get paid for this. They didn't talk about the compensation. They didn't even approve of the design with her before sending it to get made and putting it out for sale. She didn't even know that it was going out for sale. So that's not how things should be done. You shouldn't stand for that. You shouldn't let yourself be used like that. And it's just not a way to do business with someone. To me, if true, that shows a complete disrespect and lack of just any sort of decency for the person that you're working with who's helping to sell your product. Um, Now, if you go into the comments here, again, this is all kind of people's personal experiences. I can't verify if it's true or not, but there are a few instances where people say, same brand tried not to pay me for my work for the shaker idea I made. They literally tried to claim I made the design during company time when I worked for them in 2020, and I had receipts showing that it was not done while I worked for them. And there was another instance of a story where they're trying to do a competition for logo design and you're going to get paid in product, which, again, this it just kind of brings up this argument of what form of payment is considered good enough. Is free product considered a good enough payment? Is notoriety or exposure a good enough payment? And sometimes I would argue yes, but like I said, it's something that you have to work out beforehand, and both parties have to be happy with. And if one party's not happy, well, then the product shouldn't be going forward anyway. So that brings me to my interaction with GamerSupps. Like I said, I made that video. I was really critical of their brand because they use proprietary blends, and just in general, the experience of communicating with them when I tried to reach out to ask them questions, they didn't answer me. Which, you know, I was a small creator at the time. I'm still a small creator. But as a customer, if you have a question about a brand's product, you should at least receive some sort of response if you have those questions. I didn't receive anything. On their website, it was very vague. I couldn't find the exact amount of caffeine that was being used in their product. The product design was frustrating. I didn't like how it tasted, but that's totally subjective. And just in general, I thought that based off of my interpretation of their proprietary blend, because they're not telling you how much, based off of the size of their scoop compared to other brands, I concluded, which is kind of like a guesstimation based off that size and the amounts of caffeine used, that there could be no chance that they were using enough of each ingredient to make an actual difference. Now, that is just speculation because they don't tell you how much, and that's the problem with proprietary blends. You see what I'm saying? Um, and so because of that, because it was so skewed in the direction of there's no way there could be enough, I felt like this is definitely a brand to avoid. And I'll try to put some clips of that video so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, because I'm talking about all of this off the cuff. I don't have like a script written or anything. I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts on this. And so I'll try and put that in there. What is different about this brand as well is their serving size is 1.6 grams. To put this in perspective, other brands use serving sizes closer to 7 to 10 grams. That proprietary blend of theirs, it's 159,000 micrograms. Why? Why not just say 159 milligrams? That being said, if their blend is 159 milligrams and 100 of that is caffeine, then that leaves 59 milligrams for all the other ingredients and like 1400 milligrams left over. I second guessed this math because it seemed so weird, so I reached out to GamerSupps. I emailed them using their contact page on their website, and I tweeted at them. No response from either method. All of this seems very shady to me, and as far as I can tell from what information is available, is the scoop is mostly caffeine, sweetener, and coloring. But I was contacted shortly after that video blew up. Remember, when I put out this video in February, my channel was just starting and it didn't get a lot of views. And then out of nowhere, it just blew up. It started getting tons of views. And that's when I started getting contacted by different brands, including GamerSupps. And so I'm going to share that with you. Now, I am going to cover some things in these emails because it talks about their company and I'm just not comfortable sharing that publicly. I'm going to block out phone numbers. I'm going to block out email addresses. I'm going to leave the name because in this story, you can already see, and it's public knowledge, the name of the owner of GamerSupps. But some of this is going to be blacked out, and I'm just explaining why. All right. So to begin, I received an email on 6/23/2020 from Eric Freeman, the owner of GamerSupps, and it reads, I am Eric Freeman, the owner of GamerSupps. I'm hoping to speak with you about our offer to be a flagship spokesperson with our brand. And then there's going to be a section that I black out here. And then it ends with, I hope our lack of communication years ago can be overlooked as I take ownership of a failed response. Now, I did not contact them years ago. I contacted them a few months prior to this. They didn't get, I tweeted at them as well. It's all in that first video. You can see that. I don't know what he's talking about years ago, but I don't know. Maybe he just was confused. That's what I kind of chalked it up to. And you can see that on my response here where it says, hello, Eric. First, I want to thank you for considering me for something like this, but I have to respectfully decline. I feel like my experience with the product would not make me an ideal person. And then I kind of explained, like, I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't years ago. But I appreciate you reaching out to me personally in regards to this matter. Thanks again, Franco. Now, he responds, keep in mind, his initial email was 6/23. This is 6/24. Franco, would you be willing to speak with me about the offer first? It's actually for a completely different product, and we were just not going to go into all of this. But essentially, he's trying to explain why he uses proprietary, or what not he, but why GamerSupps uses proprietary blends, and the benefits of their ingredients. But the main thing here is that he says the necessity to use a proprietary blend to protect our intellectual property from knockoffs. Now, Personally, I think that's ridiculous. And the reason I think that is because now, many months later, there are so many brands of gaming energy drink powders that use transparent labels that tell you what's in them and how much of each ingredient is in them. At this point, it's to the point where I don't even review a brand unless it has a transparent label. So that is just like my lowest bar on whether or not I want to talk about a brand. So the idea that they don't want to use it because they think someone's going to steal it, to me, seems a little bogus. Um, and then he continues on about this conversation about, years ago we've been trying to link up, but we always fail to. I still to this day don't know what he's talking about. I think he's just confused, but whatever. Now, here's another big part of this. If you choose to not want to speak with me, I just ask that you completely leave us out of any content you make and consider taking our segment out of the current video. It has really hurt me and the brand that I have poured every ounce of effort I have to build. In any sense, here's my cell. Obviously, that's blacked out. My response to him was, I understand your frustration and I admire your passion for your brand, but I do not plan to make further content covering GamerSupps brand, and I do not believe removing the video is necessary. Essentially, I just told him, I'm sorry, man, it's a review. I'm not going to remove it. I didn't say anything like I didn't try to pass off something that was my opinion as fact. I'm very clear about this is my subjective opinion about this stuff. Um, and these criticisms feel valid from a consumer standpoint. You should be trying to, I want to know what I'm putting into my body, And if you're not telling me these things, then there's a problem. And just because the law protects your ability to do that does not make it right. And that's been something that I've tried to push in all of my videos, that we should be demanding more transparency from these companies, and it's working because there are tons of brands, even brands that have been around for a long time, like G Fuel and Rogue, have started changing their labels to show what is in these products. So I wasn't going to remove it, and I didn't feel like that was a fair thing to ask, just because you can't just go around removing negative reviews. And so I just kind of go on a little bit more about this, just saying that I'm not the right person for this job. And I feel like it's really weird that you're offering me a job. Now, this was always something that I was confused about. Why would they offer me a job when I'm very publicly critical of their product? I talked about this with my friends and different people I'm close with. And the only thing that makes sense to me, and this is complete speculation, this is potentially not the reason, and I hope it's not, because I want to think the best of these people and think that they don't have these weird ulterior motives. But the only thing that made sense to me was offer me a job. I'm a small creator, so I jump at the opportunity to do that. Cool. Now you work for me. Take down that video. It's a breach of your contract. It is a violation of conflict of interest. It's an easy way to basically dangle something in front of someone to get what you want, which in this case very clearly was take down this video. Now, I'm not saying that that's what he was doing. I hope it's not what he was doing, but it was the only thing that made sense to me at the time. I took this, his response was, all right, man, wish you the best. I pretty much figured, listen, I don't want to just make videos that trash brands. Even when I talk negatively about a brand, I try to see the intent. I try to see what they're going for. I try to look past it and be like, listen, there are real people who work at this company. They are passionate about their work. They want it to succeed. They probably want to help people. I try not to just think negatively, and I try not to create a lot of negative content on this channel. And so I never talked about this. I never really brought it up to anybody other than close friends that I talked to about my YouTube channel. And I intended to just let it go. Water under the bridge. See you later. Until the next instance of my experience with GamerSupps, which was the very same day. So after I received this email communication, that night I streamed on Twitch. I was streaming on Twitch, and I'm going to show you right now what happened. Now, keep in mind, this isn't a big deal. I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought it was weird. I thought it was awkward, but I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't talk about this publicly. It happened, and I was like, come on, man, that's weird. So it'll make sense when I show you. I can't tell what the
what you thinking.
Highlighted. I'm trying to add something. GamerSupps, thank you for the tier 1 sub. That's it. They subbed to my channel. If you can tell, I felt so awkward there because that just earlier that day, 3 hours before that, I basically had this kind of passive aggressive conversation with this owner of a big gaming energy drink company. I'm not used to talking to people like that. I'm not used to having communications with someone like that. At this time, I was much smaller than I am now. Um, and it was so weird to me. Why would you come into my stream and subscribe like that? It's not a it's not a big deal, but it's just weird. It's just weird. It just shows like, hey, I'm here. I'm watching. I see you. Now, just a few minutes after that, someone started following my channel. I didn't recognize the name, and I greeted them like everyone else who follows the channel. I said, "Hey, what brings you here? What are you up to tonight? How's it going?" And they responded in chat, and immediately I noticed they were a partnered streamer. Cool, not a big deal. I don't, they're just regular people. But his response was chilling, just drinking some GamerSupps. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what are you guys doing? Why are you like why are you coming in here and talking like this? It's not a big deal, but it's so weird." And to me, immediately that just felt like a weird form of intimidation on their part. I'm not accusing them of intimidation, but that's how I took it. As a small creator, it just felt like a really big brand coming into my chat and letting me know, "I'm watching you." That sounds sinister. It's not sinister, but it was strange. Now, several months passed past this. I hadn't really thought about it. I hadn't received any communication from them until just recently. In fact, New Year's Eve, I was streaming again on Twitch and this happened. Now, this is kind of a long video and I apologize because this is a really scuffed recording. It's hard to read the chat that's there. Um, just not, I don't know. It's just how I recorded it. I wanted to record it for posterity's sake because this was just another form of communication from GamerSupps, and I felt like, you know what, it's probably a good idea um, that I start keeping a log of this. By the way, that clip of GamerSupps subscribing the first time, that is a clip that they made. Their account made that clip, and it said it was titled "Huge Sub from GamerSupps" or something like that. I'll put it on screen, but they made that clip, not me. I tried to play it off. I tried to just like change the subject and act like, it didn't happen. But here we go. This is the next time that they pop into my stream. And like I said, this is hard to read. I'm going to try and explain what's going on. And I'm also going to skip around because it's a long clip. I just wanted to have the whole thing. I'll leave a link to this and the previous clip in the description below if you want to check it out yourself and just confirm that this is actually a GamerSupps account. So, like I said, this is a clip from New Year's Eve. I was playing some Dead by Daylight.
What are you doing up there?
In the bottom right, you can kind of see the chat is going on. And shortly, in a moment,
Why are
I'm
you
going to
urban
receive
evading
a
everywhere?
subscription from GamerSupps again. But what I thought was crazy,
GamerSupps, Happy New Year, brother. Happy New Year to you as well.
now keep in mind, I'm trying to just play this off. I'm trying to show like this isn't going to phase me. You're not going to shake me. This is weird. I don't know why you guys are still doing this. It's been 7 months later. And I know it's been 7 months later because it says they've subscribed for 7 months, currently on a 7-month streak. And they said, "Happy New Year, brother." Again, not a big deal, but it's just, I find it strange. And I'm trying to just play it off in chat because I don't want it to derail my stream.
7 months. 7 months. How did I miss that for 7 months? Oh, Leslie's finished. So how did I miss that for? I feel like I've never seen that pop up, but the first time.
So I obviously I remembered the first time. Now, if I fast forward here, someone in my chat makes a comment. It might be hard to read, but it says, "I think you might be looking at a sponsorship, Franco. GamerSupps slid on in." And
Is CJ done? CJ, are you here?
I essentially respond to that like, "Trust me, man, that's not what's going to happen."
Franco should just bust.
Right? And then, for the first time ever, they actually respond in chat. And let me find it. Okay,
I don't
right
know,
here.
get some
So
hits.
they basically tag the person who said that, and they say, "What's good, man?" And then the next message is, "No, Franco hates amazing tasting products." And
Oh, jeez.
here's my reaction to that.
It's all personal preference, GamerSupps. Not everybody likes everything.
And that was the end of it. Again, I never viewed these two things as significant events. Um, I think that you could argue that it's strange behavior. I don't want to go as far as calling it harassment, but it is strange for a company to come into a small streamer's stream. I mean, I'm a small streamer still. I'm a small YouTuber still. On stream, I get like 20 to 30 viewers, which is bigger than a lot of people, but it's by no means, I'm not a partner. I'm not talking to thousands of people. And I just make videos in my room, you know? And to me, as a small creator, this feels like intimidation. It feels sketchy. It feels shady. It feels like they think it's funny. And in a sense, it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny that a huge company finds it worth their time to come into my stream on New Year's Eve when you should be with your family or, I don't know, doing something fun to just pop in and make comments about me not liking your brand. It just seems petty. And I never wanted to talk about it because I didn't want to attract that kind of negativity to my channel. There's tons of people who like GamerSupps, whatever. I don't care. I don't care who you like. I don't care who you buy. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not paid by them, you know? But it just, to me, it speaks to their integrity as a company and integrity as people who, you know, are essentially um, using other people. And this sounds bad, but these companies use people to sell their product. But that is usually a mutual relationship. I get something out of this, you get something out of this. Cool, it's all good. But there should also be mutual respect. And, you know, reading through this story, I don't see that mutual respect. And in the context of hearing more people talk about the negative experiences that they've had with this company, it made me want to say something because a lot of people come to me to ask me questions about these brands and what I think about them. And generally, I try to keep those opinions just based to my subjective opinions on their flavors and their ingredients, which is not so much subjective. Do they use enough of X so that you can feel Y, you know? And the ones that do are the ones that I recommend. The ones that I've had positive interactions with, I recommend them because I like them as a company. GamerSupps is not one of those companies, and so I just shut up about it. I just say it's not my personal preference. But hearing this streamer's story made me feel like I had to say something because it's been in the back of my head for a long time since this email conversation and since the like communication in my stream. It's been something that made me angry. It's funny to a point, but it makes me angry because if they're doing this to people like me, you know, it's possible that they could be doing it to other small creators or they're just the lack of disrespect for the community that they want to represent. And so I wanted to tell my story about it. Thank you very much to IceRocker for sharing her side of this story and her experiences with it. Um, I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than I don't like these behaviors. I don't think that um, it's cool for a brand to act this way. I don't think that it shows a respect for the community that you're a part of and that you're making money off of. A gaming energy drink is you don't need a drink to game. You don't need these things. Like you can argue that these companies are making money off of a community, and that's fine because that's what people do. That's what corporations do. That's what companies do. They attach themselves to a community and they make money off of it by providing a service. That's how it works. But if you're going to do that, have respect for the community that you're a part of. Pay your creators. Um, don't take advantage of people just because they have small followings, and don't be an asshole. That's all I wanted to say. Make your own decisions based off this. This is not going to be a regular thing on this channel. I don't like drama. I don't like talking about I don't like talking negatively about other brands or other things or people, but I thought that it was important to share because one story is a blip, but multiple stories shows a pattern of misconduct by a person or a brand, and that pattern should be known by the people who spend money on that product because you should believe in the things that you decide to support and make your own decision based on my story, her story, the other stories that you hear in the following days, because I think that this is going to get a lot of attention. Make your own decision on who you want to support. Your dollar means a lot, and you should put it somewhere that you feel it's going to a company that you respect and that you would want to support. So that's all I had to say. I'm sorry for this long rant, but I had to say something. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. That will be much less controversial and opinionated. Peace.